Hey, welcome to my backyard. That's my shed back there, by the way, where the snakes like to hang out. It's 78 degrees. Yeah, I was rubbing it in a little bit. I'll be home in 5 days. I was out shooting at the wildlife refuge with the D850, and there was a bird orgy going on. What that means is a lot of beautiful birds. There's like 40 of them. I guess they were all like having a party together in the mangrove there. And there was many photographers, and of those 30 plus people with cameras, about 3 or 4 of them have cell phones, so that doesn't count. There was about 8 professional photographers there. One of them even gave me his card. He's like, "Hey, I see your videos. Here's my business card." And he's actually a working photographer. Had a nice 500 millimeter f4, and in the midst of shooting, me moving around and shooting like crazy with the D850 and the 200-500 Nikkor, I actually stood back. My card was about 3/4 full, and I filled it up, and I was changing cards. D850, by the way, takes a huge dump on the memory cards. I looked, and I noticed one thing the whole time I was shooting, out of my peripheral vision, is that number one, nobody's really shooting. They're just sitting there watching the birds with their cameras in their hand, which, if you want to just look at what they're doing, that's fine. You can also look at them and take a picture at the same time. You can actually do 2 things at once: take pictures and look at the birds. Secondly, nobody was moving around. Everybody just was fixed in place. There was a span there of about 60 yards or so where the birds were spread out, and they were all doing different things. There was 4 different types of birds there. Nobody was moving around. Nobody was taking pictures. Everybody was acting like they had a film camera, and film is expensive. You don't want to, fill up the roll, and it's a memory card. You fill it up and grab another one. They are re-erasable over and over and over again. Secondly, there was one guy with it was a 400 millimeter 2.8 Canon lens. Can't miss it, huge white lens, and he mounted it on a really expensive, really right stuff tripod. While the birds were in the dark of the mangrove because the sun was coming this way and the birds were here, I only had to crank the ISO up to 800, so there's plenty of light, even to catch the moving bird. Sitting in one spot. He was there at one spot, did not move, with that 400 millimeter 2.8, which I know cost him a lot of money. This is, of course, just somebody with gear that doesn't actually know how to use it, or is interested in, hauling that 400 millimeter 2.8 out of the car to a wildlife refuge, which is already out in the boonies, mounting it on that really fine, really right stuff carbon fiber tripod, and not taking any damn pictures. I just, I just in that one spot alone, I must have shot like 40 gigs of pictures, and I've only even looked at 10% of them and processed only a few of them because, I'll do that later when I get back up to the frozen north, not down here. And it just shocks me that there's just a swath of people with tons of cameras, nobody's shooting. They're acting like they got film cameras, and they've only got like 2 rolls of film in their pocket, but of course nobody had a film camera. Nobody's moving around. I'm the fat guy. I'm moving around, taking a crap load of pictures, portrait and landscape orientation, depending on the size of the bird. Some of them are really tall, kind of like a tall supermodel, right? It's just amazing. 2 pros with tripod-mounted cameras, not moving at all and not taking pictures. Really expensive cameras. Don't need a tripod. I kind of jokingly asked one guy, ribbingly, like, "Hey, what you need that tripod for?" And of course, maybe that's a prick question, but he shot me a dirty eye, like, F you, I was just an innocent. What you need that tripod for? Oh God. I think the funniest one is the guy had the 500 millimeter f4, and he only took like 2 pictures. It was the Nikon camera, because you could always hear the shutter going off. I was basically standing right beside him there, for I was like, he goes, "I got to change lenses." So he goes in the car and he grabs a 300mm 2.8. Another expensive lens. That doesn't take any pictures that I'm aware of. Maybe one or two. You know, it's memory cards. What you got like between the camera and the lens, girlfriend, you got like $10,000 minimum. Even if you bought them used, you got $10,000 there. You know, those memory cards are really, really, really cheap. You know, you're like afraid of filling up that one memory card you got. You know, even if like on an Nikon D850, you got a compact flash card and an SD card. If you ignorantly only brought that one set of cards, right? You're like, you filled them up, you're out in the boonies, and you filled them up, you're like, screw it, I'm gonna take out the SD card, or take out the compact flash card, excuse me, the XQD card, excuse me, I get my cards right here in a second. Then I'm gonna erase the SD card, then I'm gonna, because I got a photographic opportunity here. Now I have no redundancy, but, you know, I'm gonna roll the dice. So that's essentially 2 cards. You know, it was just like an amazing moment. It was just a huge swath of people with expensive cameras, and nobody was doing any shooting, nobody was doing any moving. And what the hell did you need that tripod for? It is like, it's so sunny. We're like about 8 miles from the sun down here. The amount of ambient lighting, even in the shade, is enormous. Even enough to catch any action. So, this is kind of the crap you would not want to do in photography. I got $10,000 of gear. I drove out to the boonies, and I'm going to mount my camera on a tripod with this huge lens. And not take any pictures. Yeah. Yeah. Lame. Really, really lame. Welcome to sunny South Florida. It's 80 degrees now. My thermometer up here says I got a thermometer mounted on the back shed, so. Yeah, here we go. Yep. Here you go. Let me bring you over to my window. Yeah, there we go. Don't tread on me. There we go. Don't tread on me. Have a good one. I'll catch you later. Thanks. God, it's hot out here.